Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. No problem.
So we are the team number 2, and the team are. Our team are Jacqueline, Mariana, Wendy, and Maximilian.
10 minutes, okay? Is that enough? You should be. 10 minutes. 1, 2, 3, go. Yep.
The next slide.
I don't know, you start.
Wendy. Okay, we represent first the main ideas. So next, please.
Very good.
Okay, Leila Luján focuses on the concept feminicide. Diana Russell was the first person who gives the connotation that we know. Later, she will use this term with Jill Radford in 1992 as a form of sexual violence. This concept was reflected quickly in the Spanish language, being the Mexican feminist Marcela Lagarde, who introduced the concept into Spanish as feminicidio. However, there was differences in the translates, feminicidio in Central America, and femicidio in Central America, and feminicidio in Mexico. It's now we highlight the etymological roots about feminicide by Julia Monarrez, realizing that the word femicide does not exist. On the other hand, the concept feminicide is composed by other such as patriarchy, sex-gender system, woman, sex, gender, and violence. Right now, we are focused on patriarchy because we consider that is the key element of the feminism because it's a system that oppresses women. Next.
Well, as Mariana already said, feminism is not a new term, and over the time there have been changes. From a point of view, these changes are observed in 2 main aspects: the focus of the fight and the way of fighting. In the first point, I mean that in the past there was a fight for the recognition of women's rights, and currently the move.
Just give me a chance. If I cannot see you, your team is not presenting. That's it. And if your team has already presented, that's a 0 for the team. Just a matter of respect, please. Okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Don't worry. Thank you. Currently, the movement is fighting for. It is not something exclusive to women anymore. On the second point, I mean that women used to fight alone. Now the institutionalization of feminism has emerged. Institutionalization is when governmental and non-governmental institutions and organizations are created to support this cause. From my point of view, this normalizes the movement and make it more serious before society. Next slide, please.
So the violence against women, it's a cycle. So we have 3 phases. The psychological and verbal, it starts with the aggressor say or maybe only do things to hurt the person. So when it finished, we have the psychological and sexual violence, and it starts when the person explodes. So all the attention they have, so it's explode with the person it's hurting. So, and the last part, it's the consolation, and it's when the aggressor say sorry for all the things they already do or say it. So we have asked 5 suggestions so to follow.
Very good.
In case we have or we know a person is suffered the We have the first is search help to search for help. The second is report the aggressor. The third is measure an order to protect in case the aggressor it doesn't stay away of you. So the last is design a plan of security so you can remember the number of the institution. The next slide. Sorry.
Sorry. Well, I'm going to talk about equity, gender equality, and feminism. The first one, in the prehistory, the article talk about gender identity, where female role was established by them, and women had to take care of children, and she was belong than men in social and political activities. The second one, the Middle Age, were women roles and women had some positions like noble woman, peasant woman, and communal woman. Noble woman could be educated and take care of children, and her only authority was organize the employees of her house.
3 minutes.
Peasant woman is the same. She could be educated and take care of children, and communal woman did not have education. In modern age, in 15th to 18th century, women's behavior. Women should be educated to have a good customs and a good life, and she was subdued by the power and the authority of her husband. And now the contemporary age to the 18th century to today, the equality for women, where women should be in all life aspects, like private and political, and she could have a government post to talk about public topics and be present in family in the church decisions.
Next slide.
And Max, no?
Yes.
Is almost over.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hurry up, please.
Okay. Yes. I'm going to talk about feminist thinking in Latin America. Feminist thinking is different depending on the area which is generated. It's because the problems and needs are different in every country. In Latin America, feminism developed in the last century, demanding political representations and the right to vote for women. These demands have been involving and attracting topics that were not previously discussed, such as the abortion.
Please don't.
No. And despite in other things, even the good intentions of this movement, some type of experts say that the feminist movement have to do another important thing, that is to legalize the movement. This means that the feminists have to be reflected in the society in the legal ways, as in actions and in the actions of the society. That's my point.
Your point, or to the team? Besides, you have some mistakes on that slide in which you were supposed to include passive voice instead of active. Be careful. We have already studied passive voice, huh? Go ahead.
Okay, we will give a brief conclusion. Mariana.
Okay. Okay, feminism term has been used in several years. Same way, we realize that women is not used only to refer the sex of the person, also about feminine being or a being with characteristics of woman. It means people who are transsexual or transgender, and the whole team agree with that.
From my point of view, in most aspects of institutionalization of feminism, I agree. We agree, but it's a fact that more and more money and resources are dedicated to this cause, and I don't think this is the best. Because although I support the fight, I'm aware that this is not the only concern of the society. I know that there are families suffering from extreme poverty, people with serious health cases, and more.
The team it's agree with we need to know the information about the suggestion of what we need to do in case of some people live violence in or her house. So
Their house, no?
yeah, their house. So.
Okay. Good. Is that it?
No. We are agreed to that Latin America.
No. We agree.
We agree.
Our agree is Spanglish.
We agree.
De acuerdo en español. Pero
Yes.
we agree English. Okay.
That Latin America is a region very affected by its roots as a region with external factors that end up affecting the movement, like racism or classism. But we think the feminist thinking is very important for the society, not only in Latin America, in all the world, and we have to keep moving and changing the minds, not only for the woman. We have to change the mind of everyone, men and women.
Well, in my opinion, there is a constant fight between men and women. Women. Since prehistory, the woman's role was come to an agreement. The women had to take care of children, and they couldn't hold neither social nor political position. And throughout history, women have been fighting to be considered in important positions and taking liberty and equality, because women can do the same things than men, and women need to start to take own decisions to be important, and they are not object or unaware, and the brain doesn't have gender.
That's all. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you.
Excellent.